tell my daughter I'll slap you.
Welcome to yet another exciting edition of your show on Noble TV Live. My name is Mary Emmanuel, and today on the show, we're still revolving around the family setting, and we're talking about toxic and narcissistic parenting. Okay, so to drive on the topic with me, I have Dr. Gray Amola.
Thank you for having me on the
You're
program.
welcome, sir. Okay, so before we dive into the family and this particular topic, I would like us to know what this term actually means. In your own definition, what is toxic and narcissistic parenting?
Okay, I suppose the watcher of the family that chose that phrase, he deliberately chose that phrase to rattle the thinking, of the audience, especially with the first adjectival phrase, toxic.
Yes.
Either of the two phrases, is a trouble cousin.
Of course, yes.
So a toxic and narcissistic parenting mode is that which does not leverage on the natural advantages of family life.
Okay.
And how do you leverage on the natural advantages of family life? By providing the enabling platform for interaction, mutual understanding, mutual respect, and those values that build the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose the use of that word toxic, it must have come from a sociological mindset, because the typical deviancy related sociologies, there's one in sociology, deviant sociology.
Okay.
These sociological issues that hinge on abnormal behavior, abnormal institutions, or institutions that are dysfunctional. So that is why the choice of that. So toxic is negativity.
Yes.
Narcissistic, pride, ego. So is the parenting style that is driven by pride, ego, and a regressive manner of handling the family. When all these things are intermingled, that's why you have the phenomenon of toxicity, and what they call narcissism. Narcissism is pride, ego.
Okay, now
So, yes.
Let's come down to a layman.
Yes.
Let's say someone who did not really go to school is listening to this conversation now. Would you say a father, because normally in the African setting, there's this fear for fathers, right? When your mother tells you, "I will report your father for you," and the child immediately is begging, "Mommy, please," or when the father is coming back, when he just comes home, the children run into the room. Would you term that as a narcissistic father?
That kind of scenario is more about intimidation, than using the word that is related to the ego.
Okay.
Because you just use, something like a piece of advice indirectly that will serve me, you, and the viewership. Avoid the kind of Obahagbo and the Woloshuenka verbiage so that they understand what what is being communicated.
Yes.
So a parental setting, when either parent is returning home and the children scuttle into its kind of a safety, that in the long term does not promote stable family life.
Okay.
That is a bullying kind of parent. So the parental bullying, is not appropriate, parenting. When we talk about social engineering, when the lawyer talks about social engineering or the sociologist talks about social engineering, it starts from the home. You may be surprised. The problems in the political system today that we use simplistic phrasing like APC, PDP, it's not a matter of the party. It is the genetic makeup of the political participants. Their socio-genetic makeup, the family they are coming from. So they carry all such problems to the front burner, and then we have problems.
Okay.
So narcissistic and toxicity, narcissism and toxicity, they have to do with parental bullying, inability to come to terms with the situation of the child. Okay. The growing child needs to be pampered.
Yes. actually want us to drink more from your wealth of knowledge. At this point, let's come back a bit. You made mention of parental bullying.
Yes.
Now, can you elaborate on this?
Parental bullying is when the father or the mother uses aggression in relating with the child. A child,
training a child.
Yes, training. Oh, training is a multifaceted thing. Every stimulus, every move you make as you wake up after prayer, it contributes to training. When as you're coming back home and you find that maybe your child, your growing child, maybe 7, 8, or 9, accidentally spills water and the floor is wet, I'll slap you. Let me tell you one thing, Mayor. There's one phrase now that darkens my soul, and it makes me feel, scared of the future of the Nigerian child. Do you know that 80% of the mothering parent in contemporary Nigerian society, especially in the south of Nigeria, they use that phrase, "I'll slap you"? That is very offensive to the divine spirit, and it is part of the core of narcissistic parenting. With its dimension, toxicity.
Okay.
I'll slap you. Exactly. You are a mental violence.
Okay, you said that I'll slap you is according to you, it's an abomination.
Yes.
It's something that shouldn't
unacceptable.
be never. But then the Bible says, "Spare the rod and spoil the child."
The Bible does not tell you to employ mental violence in sparing the rod.
So in what way? What is the best way now to caution a child if he does anything wrong? Because at this point, we're moving to another angle, but it's still okay.
It's still within the same.
Yes.
It's still within the same radius, the same nexus. You know what? Love animates the relationship between parent and child. Love animates it, and love does not easily feel offended. When my daughter offends me, I revert to my local dialect that I'm proud of, Ukwane.
Okay.
Yes, part of me is Urobo, but the greater part of me is Ukwane. And when she replies in English, I insist on Ukwane. Why are you doing this? But I will never use that word, "I'll slap you." I'm sorry to say, at times, my wife does use it, and I feel deeply offended. Deeply. Don't tell my daughter, "I'll slap you." First of all, it is a phrase that is associated with the contemporary ghetto, the African Nigerian ghetto.
Okay.
In those days, we used to call it Pilele, Saple, Warri, Port Harcourt, those cities where there's always a disconnect, between spirit and the values. You can't tell your child you're going to slap your child. No matter the level of anger or this, or temporary, momentary loss of stability, say, "I'll slap you." The day a colleague used it in my former place of work, I was mad at it. I said, "Don't ever do this to your child." When you brutalize a child, that is part of the makeup of toxic and dysfunctional family.
That brings me back to the last question I asked.
Yes.
Because I've been using words, and I'm even getting confused as well. So what is the best way to handle a child who has defaulted? Since you said we shouldn't use our slang, because I also
use it. And your consciousness has been infected by the larger society. So balance.
Okay.
Best solution. Balance the two imperatives.
Okay.
Efficacy or efficiency and moderation. Efficiency is insisting on the values and precepts of upbringing. Then moderation, love. I used to tell my colleague Comrade Emilio that the principalship those days in secondary schools connected with parenting. Great principles like F.N. Ilo, C.O. Konye, Aholo, Owangwe. There was only a dual name, Yale Owangwe.
What did they all say about parenting?
They distilled the values at the level of the school system because they brought it from the family structure. The sociologists will always tell you that the basic social unit is the family. So when the family is dysfunctional, first of all, that word dysfunction, it is part of the arsenal of sociological scholarship.
We'll definitely come back to this topic.
Okay.
And I'll come back in another form where I will attack anything you say vehemently.
Yes.
All right, I'm very sure you have learned a thing or two from the topic today. At this juncture, I would like to implore you to always follow Nobility Live Drop your comments just in case there are other options you want to share with us. Drop your comments, like, and like I said before, follow us. My name is Mary Emmanuel. Until I come here again, bye for now.